Hello viewers, I'm Bartek and today's video is about top tips for recording music before you even enter the studio. So I've been in many bands over the years and I have been in many recording sessions when me and the entire band went in and we're actually paying money to the sound engineer to get our songs recorded. So I thought I'd put the list together to share with you so that hopefully you can get something out of it, and that will prevent you from making mistakes that perhaps I have made, or I know what to avoid. So let's get to it. Tip number one: have good songs. So as bizarre as this may sound and as obvious as this may sound, this is absolutely crucial. So when you are during the writing process, it's very important you actually get the things right and you are happy with your songs, with your arrangements, and you definitely, you don't have fillers. If you are recording an EP or a full-length album, whatever that might be, whether it's 3 songs, 5 songs, 10 songs, just make sure that every single song you are happy with, as individuals and as a band. Tip number 2, be well rehearsed, right? And this actually goes hand in hand with tip number 1, because what you don't want to end up doing is spending more time than you need to in the studio because you just haven't rehearsed enough, or you haven't practiced enough, or you don't know your songs well enough. And you'd be very surprised because actually in a practice room, in a rehearsal room situation, so not everything is as audible as you might think. So it also depends how good of a quality of a rehearsal room you have. But especially if you're in a loud band, actually there's a lot of noise, and instruments compete with each other, and sometimes those nuances and those details actually can disappear, and you just won't be able to hear them really well at all. And come to the studio situation, you might actually find that not all the band members actually know the songs or have rehearsed enough to be playing really well in the studio. I actually had that situation once when we went in the studio and one band member actually we thought the rest of the band, we just assumed that he was playing everything correctly in a rehearsal room. And we rehearsed for quite a few months before entering the studio. But when we actually entered the studio, it turned out that he didn't know the songs as well as we thought, and he was making a lot of mistakes, and we had to repeat and repeat and repeat the takes that he was doing. And obviously, time is money, so make sure those songs are really, really well rehearsed before you even begin about thinking about going into a recording studio. Tip number 3: change your replaceables. So change your guitar strings, your drum skins, things like that. So anything that has an impact on how well your instrument is going to be heard and is going to perform, make sure that you do that. Those things aren't very expensive. You can buy a set of new strings for a few quid or a few dollars or euros or whichever currency you are operating in. But what's really important, that you definitely make sure that you change those things, because when it comes to the recording, there is no escaping from anything. So if your guitar strings are old or rusty or whatever, the tone of your guitar or your bass or your drums even, if you haven't replaced those drum skins for a long time, it's just not going to be as good as with brand new things being replaced. So make sure that you do that before entering a recording studio. Tip number 4: make sure that your equipment actually works, is in a good working order. Okay, and again, you would be surprised How many times this hasn't been done, when people have, oh yeah, everything's good, everything's definitely working, they come the day of the recording, they bring their instrument, and it turns out that a wire came loose or something like that, one of the pickups isn't working or whatever, that might be. Always make sure that your equipment is in working order, because again, you will enter the studio if you've arranged time with a sound engineer, with a recording engineer. They will be there waiting for you. It doesn't matter if your equipment isn't working, if they charge per hour or whatever you've agreed, the rate or day rate, you're gonna end up paying for the time that you're not actually using because your equipment just isn't ready or isn't in a working order. Tip number 5: decide on the order in which you're going to record your songs. Why this is very important is because you don't want to be spending unnecessary time whilst you're already in the studio on trying to decide between the band members. The drummer might not like this or want to start with that song or this song, then the bass player might have some other ideas, and so on and so forth. So to save yourself time and money, and you don't want to start thinking about these things when you've already sort of landed at the recording studio, you definitely want to come prepared, have a plan, and you actually come in the studio, you present your plan to the recording engineer, and you don't wait for them and to start asking you questions. So which songs, or maybe do this or maybe do that song or whatever. No, you should be prepared. You should come in and you should know what you want to do exactly and in which order. This is my list of top 5 recording tips before you even enter the recording studio. If you have any other really good tips, please leave them in the comments below and I will be keen to read them. And thanks very much for watching. As always, please subscribe to my channel, and if you are a new subscriber, please make sure that you hit that bell, and that will give you a notification every time I post a new video. It all really helps me grow and develop this channel. So if you find these videos helpful and useful for yourself, please subscribe. Thanks very much, and I'll see you next time.